Sit down. This is not your courtroom. Sit in that chair.
The indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds.
Take her down to jail.
What crime have I committed? Get off me. This is kidnapping. This is a false arrest. You are violating your oath, Mr. Iowa.
At first, this looked like another routine traffic case. The judge simply wanted one answer: why the defendant failed to appear for a scheduled hearing. Instead of responding, she immediately questioned the legitimacy of the proceedings and challenged the court's authority. Within moments, what should have been a brief hearing transformed into one of the week's most talked about courtroom confrontations. Everyone in the room realized this case was heading somewhere completely unexpected.
On the record in City of Conneaut versus Amber McHenry, 24 TRD 819. Ms. McHenry entered no plea to charges of no operator's license and expired plates, each of which is a minor misdemeanor, on December 17th, 2024. I scheduled it for a bench trial for January 8th of 2025. Ms. McHenry was given notice of that bench trial. I have a signed receipt in the file showing she got notice of that bench trial. Present on January 8th, 2025 was the law director along with a police officer. Ms. McHenry failed to appear. As a result of her failure to appear, I issued a warrant for her arrest. That was January 8th. It's now over a month later, February 11th, and Ms. McHenry is now turning herself in on the warrant. She is in the courtroom, and she is without an attorney. Ms. McHenry, why were you not here on January 8th of 2025?
I have a question about the case.
Ms. McHenry, sit down. This is not your...
Rather than answering the judge's direct questions, the defendant insisted on seeing official bonds, oaths, and other documents before continuing. The courtroom quickly became a battle over procedure instead of the original charges. The judge repeatedly explained that the hearing would move forward only if simple questions were answered, but every attempt to restore order was met with another demand. Tension kept building as neither side backed down.
Your courtroom. Sit in that chair.
I have a question about the case. That's not the case number that I had.
Yes, it is, Ms. McHenry. You've got other cases pending that are set for jury trial.
The original case number that I had was like TDR like 0800 something. And
24 TRD 819.
819. Okay. I was just double checking on the case number. Can you repeat your question then? No.
Why were you not here on January 8th?
I put in an appearance and it was rejected and struck from the record, and I was sent a letter saying that I am not who I said I was. So I have a question about that because I don't understand.
This is not a discussion here. This is not a conversation. I ask a question, you respond to my question. Now, this is typical behavior for you because you're a sovereign citizen. At least you claim to be.
I've never claimed that.
Well, your documentation that you filed, including the one you filed today that did not have a correct caption or case number on it, is indicative of that. So let me ask you, Ms. McHenry, again, why were you not physically...
After several warnings, the judge made it clear that the courtroom would not become a platform for unrelated arguments. The defendant continued interrupting, insisting the court had no authority to proceed without first satisfying her requests. By refusing to address the actual reason she was before the court, she left the judge with fewer and fewer options. The atmosphere shifted from debate to enforcement as patience finally ran out.
Personally present in the courtroom on January 8th, 2025 for your trial.
I need the oath and bonds to be put for each person acting as a public official in this case who is acting as a public servant to be put on the record. And I also require the indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds, please, for the record, let it be known that you exited.
I did. I exited the courtroom and asked a police officer and probation officer to come
indemnity
present.
bond? Where's the bill of particulars?
The bond is
Because I did not receive it.
the warrant is being executed. You're being taken into custody. Take her down to the jail now.
I was not given the warrant.
Take her down to the jail now.
Why am I being arrested?
Take her down to the
For what?
jail now.
What crime have I committed? Get off me. This is kidnapping. This is a false arrest.
Stop it.
No, this is a false arrest.
Don't make it known. Okay, glad.
This is kidnapping. They're violating my rights, my constitutional rights. I put in...
I thought the Constitution didn't apply to you.
The turning point came instantly. The judge ordered deputies to execute the outstanding warrant, ending the discussion on the spot. As officers approached, the defendant loudly protested, calling the arrest unlawful and accusing everyone in the courtroom of violating her rights. What began as a simple hearing ended with deputies escorting her from the courtroom while the judge calmly maintained control over the proceedings.
The Constitution applies to every living man and woman.
Yeah.
You are violating your oath, Mr. Iarochi. I'll take your side. What am I being arrested for? What am I being arrested for?
Let's break down exactly what just happened. While everyday hardworking people are struggling to pay their rent and keep the lights on, a professional grifter tried to hijack $1 million, 8,000 square foot luxury mansion using a fake legal loophole. This is the ultimate us versus one and them reality of our legal system. On one side, you have property owners jumping through massive bureaucratic hoops just to access their own land. On the other side, entitled squatters who think the rules simply do not apply to them. Today, we are looking at the courtroom of Judge J. Cedric Simpson in Washtenaw County, Michigan. And trust me, the media is not showing you how bad this sovereign citizen epidemic has actually gotten. Here are the big moments they missed. The setup is insane. We are talking about a luxury estate on 2 acres, 5 bedrooms, a 4-car garage. A woman named Miss Whitlow bought it, immediately defaulted, and lost it to foreclosure. Entered Doya Banks. She's sitting at the defendant's table. When the judge asks for her name, she introduces herself as Doya Banks, occupant, not the owner, not the leaseholder, occupant. But the plaintiff's attorney, Ian Redmond, didn't come to play games. Redmond pulled out the receipts. He had done a deep dive into Banks's background and exposed a massive, coordinated fraud ring. Redmond revealed that multiple people, including a random guy in Arizona and Banks herself, had filed serial bankruptcies listing this exact Michigan property as their residence. Why? Because filing bankruptcy puts an automatic freeze on evictions. It's a scam, plain and simple. Redmond didn't just make claims, he read it back to her word for word from a federal bankruptcy judge's order. This filing of this petition was part of a scheme to delay, hinder, and defraud BMCO LLC. Let that sink in for a second. A federal court already branded this woman a fraud. They explicitly banned her from filing bankruptcies for other people, and yet she's sitting in a state court trying to stall the exact same eviction. The sheer audacity of these professional squatters is enough to curb my nausea. So what does Banks do when she's cornered by undeniable facts? She tries the oldest trick in the fake lawyer playbook. She pulls out a piece of paper and starts reading a prepared sovereign citizen script. I, Doya Banks, respectfully appear specially and conditionally. I expressly do not consent to this court's jurisdiction. She actually said that out loud to a sitting judge. She wants the court to protect her vested occupancy rights, but she refuses to recognize the court's authority. Judge Simpson's reaction is a masterclass in handling courtroom clowns. Simple, clean, honest. He doesn't yell. He doesn't bang a gavel. He just looks at her and drops the hammer. Well, then you are not a named party. So, if you're not consenting to this court's jurisdiction, sit down. You can go. Boom. Checkmate. If you don't consent to the court doesn't have to listen to you. Panic mode activates. Banks instantly realizes she just played herself. She stammers. She tries to take it back. I'm recanting. I'm recanting.
This courtroom exchange has sparked major discussion because it highlights what happens when legal arguments replace cooperation with the court. Regardless of personal beliefs, judges are responsible for keeping hearings focused on the law and maintaining courtroom order. This case serves as another reminder that refusing to engage with the legal process rarely produces the outcome defendants expect. If you enjoy real courtroom breakdowns and the biggest legal moments making headlines each week, be sure to subscribe, and turn on notifications for more.